guys, how's it going? So, it is another Thursday, and we are getting back to the sewing room. Apologies for the late start today. Had to kind of, it's probably not easy to tell, but I'm having to rearrange just a little bit. Main reason. So, if you guys have been following me here, I'm standing right in front of it. I meant to go the other direction. Okay. So I've started to add the layers of the petticoat, and it's starting to get a little big. Right now it has one layer on it. I want to see if I can. It's just really hard to get a good shot of it. Gimli is present. Hey Gimli, you gonna say hello or are you gonna ignore them? Okay. Why is he wet? My dog is wet and I don't know why. Yeah, so we are, I guess he's helping. Today I figured I would show you guys, kind of the process I'm using. We're using the process, for how I'm putting together the petticoat. Here, I'll lift up part at the bottom of the skirt so you can see. Right now it's just pinned. Let's see if I can get it as close as I can. It's kind of dark. Okay, there is a ruffle. I know it's kind of hard to see. It's easier to see in the webcam. So there's a ruffle on the bottom. Right now that's pinned. Because last night I pinned it and realized that I need to make more. So lucky for you guys, you get to see how I'm gonna make my ruffles. And the dog's chewing on the table. Gimli, stop. Oh, there's a piece of tape there. Okay, he doesn't usually just chew on the table randomly. He wants to eat tape. Okay, so it's gone now. No tape eating. I wish I knew why he was randomly wet. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of fabric cutting. I'll show you guys my ruffler foot. And then I'll also show you guys putting the fishing line into the bottom. So the layer that's in there now has a fishing line on the bottom ruffle to help keep the ruffle more stable. It'll help keep more of a form. Because I'm really trying to make all the preemptive measures for the weight that's going to be on this dress. Just because that purple underlayer it's pleated, and that's gonna add a lot of fabric. And then that also it has the top layer, and then that also has all that lace on it. So I'm really expecting this thing to be pretty hefty. You can't see it. Well, you'll see it as soon as I take the petticoat off. But I do have all of the hoop. The hoop skirt is all constructed. It's not finalized because I want to get the petticoat completed before I actually finalize the hoop, because I'm expecting that the petticoat is going to be a lot larger than I'm thinking. So I might need to reduce the hoop a little bit more. It's pretty massive. I had to rearrange a little bit because this thing is getting so big. It is taking up like this entire corner here. It's really hard to see, but it is. After I put the first layer on last night, I was just like, oh, are you kidding me? It's already getting so huge. So, let me move this. I have some my planning stuff right here. And originally, I made right now the bottom layer is 149 circumference. Inches. I'm doing inches. It is, it's bonkers. But anyway, predicting that I'm going to have to reduce it, I did go through and I sewed channels into the vertical ribbon, so I can actually it's easier for me to reduce or increase the size for the hoops. But yeah, you'll see that in a second as soon as I take it off. But yeah, so I guess what we're gonna start with right now is I think I'm gonna go ahead and finish cutting all of I have a pile of the fabric I'm using for my ruffles. I'll go ahead and show you guys what I'm cutting out. The first layer I already have I already have I believe all of the fabric cut for the ruffles. So, a ruffle right now it's 10 inches. So it's a 10-inch width for the ruffle. So actually I already have all of this color cut out. So I have a few strips of this. I'll just need to serge them together. Then I will serge in fishing into the hem, and then I ruffle. So I'll show you guys that full process in a bit. What I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to first cut out, I'm going to finish cutting out this purple. I already have one ruffle cut out for this purple. Blah, there it is. It's hiding. So I'll go ahead and get that started. Because it shouldn't take very long to get this cut out. And it's I don't know if you can see it. It has a little bit of sparkle on it. I'm very excited. It has glitter stars on it, so. You don't see the petticoat, obviously, in the art, so I was like, I can take some liberties with that, and I'm gonna have some fun, so. And I thought that was too good to pass up. And it's lavender. I was joking, I realized that all my undergarments are, it's like purple and grape colors, and they're actually like Twitch colors, which cracks me up. So I'm actually gonna sit down, because, oh, you know what? What am I doing to pull this back? So, I hope everyone's having a good week so far. I'm glad tomorrow's Friday. I know everybody's been doing the Pokemons. Oh, I forgot to mention I'm wearing Team Rocket today. I got a little fed up with my neighborhood because it's kind of a Pokemon desert. So I was just like, screw it, I'm Team Rocket now, because I'll just steal all the Pokemon, because I can't catch anything. I can't catch anything in my neighborhood, because I don't know why. They don't come, and it makes me sad. I'm just gonna double check. Okay, just adjusting that. Okay, cool. Oh, and as always, if you guys have any questions over what I'm doing, or about this costume, or any just general cosplay questions, just feel free to leave them in the chat, and I will get to them. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and cut. Yeah, I'm gonna check something real quick. Yeah, some of my stuff just seemed to break today. I was having a little bit of... Yeah, no, my settings are right. I just wanted to check something, because everything's acting a little weird today. So hopefully his Twitch is okay. Now, goal today is I'm going to get, hopefully, all of the layers for the petticoat sewn together. I have most everything cut out. It's just going to be a matter of finishing off those ruffles and then adding the hems. The hem can take a little bit, but it's still pretty satisfying. You guys get to see, I'll definitely show a comparison of like what the ruffle looks like with and without. Because it's really interesting. It's like, yeah, it does actually do something. So. Oh, let me bump the camera. Yeah! Cutting out large quantities of fabric on a table that's sharing cameras is a little hard. That's okay. What do you want? Dog's talking to me. Hey, what? What you need? You can sit there if you want. That's fine. You can sit in the chair. Okay. You might want to steal my fabric weights. Yeah? If you have any questions for him, let me know. I'll ask him. Gimlet, can you say hi to everybody? Speak. Good boy. Good boy. Yep. I don't know. I think he might be showing off a little bit. Crossing my fingers that he doesn't just jump up on the table. Because he does that sometimes. What? What you need, bud? Yep, so the corgi is... Yep. Yes. He might want to be... I don't know if he wants to let out. I don't... What? What do you need? Why are you wet? What happened? I really want to know what happened. He was not wet 5 minutes ago, so... Now he's licking my leg. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so get this all cut out. Very excited to get this done. I'm ready to start working on like the actual dress, so it's less of the undergarments and more of the actual parts. As I've been going, I've been trying to strategize the lace part. I think I have an idea of how I'm going to do it, but it's definitely going to be a lot. Okay. I've also been trying to think of like other embellishments I can do to the main part. Because I think there's some good room for it. So all right. I'm just definitely ready to stop having to cut out strips of fabric. So I've had to do a lot of it. I had to actually go back to the craft stores around my area and get more fabric for my petty. Because I made the first layer and it's like, oh, it was way too small. I need to sit down. There we go. It was way too small for the hoop. So I underestimated. And that's totally cool. I'd rather, well, I don't know. If I usually overestimate, which is why I was really surprised. So, well, I think I didn't know quite how big the hoop was going to be. So it's been a lot of make the petty in tandem with the hoop and all that fun stuff. And that's why, like, it's taken a little longer. There we go. Oh. There we go. Yeah, I really wish there was a better way to show you. I need to get a good angle so I can show you guys like just how big this thing is. I don't know if video would really show it. Okay, coming to the end of this strip. Then I have one more light purple to cut. Because all I'm doing is this is a 60-inch width. And my strips are 10 inches wide, so I can get 3 out of 1/2, and then the rest is actually just the actual skirt, the longer skirt piece. So I just use the full width. So it's actually really nice because I'm not having to like waste a bunch of fabric. It's not a bunch of wasted fabric, which is awesome. Not a lot of scraps, which I have a collection of. Oh, and I did get fabric swatches in for the bottom skirt. I've been going back and forth between two. I can show you guys in a sec. Problem is, it's like the one I like the most is the silk. Problem is, silk is costly. And if it were the outside, this is for like the bottom skirt. Oh yeah, so. Oh, OMG Hanners. Hey, how you doing? Do I have any other pictures? If you go on my, I think the best place would probably be my Facebook page. There's a link to it. Let's see if I can get the direction right. Which one is it? Yes, that way. Or no, it's gonna be down because I'm streaming. There should be a link. If you want to pull that up real quick. I have a few pictures just in my albums. There should be I have a couple for like my cover artwork. Yeah, the cover artwork, and then I have a few albums. I try to keep it pretty organized. I use Una a lot. I know it's like I love Final Fantasy X a lot. Just Final Fantasy in general. What am I talking about? I'm making a Final Fantasy thing. Yeah, what was my most recent? See, my most recent costume I'm also into, been doing, some Love Live with, some other friends. That's been really fun. So that was the most recent thing, was Love Live Ninjas. That was a lot of work. It was very deceptive. There we go. So there's strip number 2. Okay, we'll get number 3 done. Yeah, I do have, my Instagram has, let's see, I'm not sure how, the Instagram is a little bit more like pretty much anything. Like I posted a picture of me in this shirt today, so it's less, it's a combination of cosplay and everything else. Yeah, I have a few of the ninja pictures up there. My most recent really, really big project was definitely my my Paradise Kiss gown that I did for competing in World Cosplay Summit. Yeah, that one was a beast. I'm using that one as my icon. If you've never seen or heard of Paradise Kiss, it's all about fashion. So, fashion students. Also, I'm ready for the fall already because it's hard to play Pokemon Go outside when it's 100 degrees. I was stupid wearing this shirt today. What was that? Oh. Ball bearing for my fabric weight. Okay. So as soon as I get this cut out, then I'll go ahead and start constructing the actual layers. I might have to come back to cutting because I still have the it's the middle layer. Oh yeah, please. So let's see, Hannah's is asking about costume construction. Yeah. So any questions you guys have, yeah, feel free to ask. So yeah, go right ahead. So if you have a question about costume construction, yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead. If it's, I guess we'll see whatever your question is. We'll see if I can answer it. Let's get that lower. Sorry if that sounded a little scatterbrained. I think the heat got to me today. Oh, thank you so much. That was... I really appreciate it, because we put like pretty much our heart and souls and blood, sweat, and tears into those costumes and that performance. So it's always nice to hear. Okay. I do like how polite like so far everyone's like they ask permission to ask questions first, and I think that's like it's always really nice. Like you don't have to like go like questions, go ahead. I need to probably make like a banner or something saying like, ask questions. It's totally cool. So I like helping. That was a crooked cut. Go me. There we go. Oh yeah, go ahead and leave a link. Yeah, I can look at that. Hang on, let me see if the dog wants to... Do you want to get out of the room? Do you want to leave? You might leave. Okay. Go ahead. Are you staying out, or are you coming back in? Okay, come on. Human, come on. Bring it in. Okay, he's just playing with me now. Okay, so what do we got? Oh, of course. I'm just going to shut the door on him. Okay. Apologies for that. Okay, so what do we got here? Bring it out as another window so I can still see the question. There we go. Okay, so the question is having the cloak and then the... Okay, so I'm assuming you want to have the hood part of the cloak be all one piece. Is that what you're talking about? I would say if you don't see like any part of a cloak through that gap, it kind of looks like there's a gap in the armor. I would probably make them a separate piece. Awesome. Yeah, totally. Um, that's interesting. My initial reaction is to make it all one piece. Um, well, it's weird because you can only see like the one half of his cloak. So it's kind of like, is that how, or is it just that one side? Because, I mean, if it's only the one side, I would definitely make them separate. But if it's... I know. Separate would be easy. That is true. You could, um... Yeah, I think if it goes all the way around, if it's symmetrical cloak, it goes all the way around. I think it would not be too terrible to make it all one piece. But if it's like a single side, I assume. I mean, this is okay. Fitbit. My Fitbit said I hit 10,000 steps while sitting here. Yeah, I would. I think my main step for approaching something like that would be to mock up the cloak part and then the hood part in like muslin or something, and then start kind of building out the shoulders, like even if it's just a mock up of that, and then trying to see if you can, which way would kind of be better. Because I could see how being one piece could be troublesome. So, I don't know. Did that answer your question at all? Also, magnets. Magnets are amazing. I've started really using those a lot on things like that. There we go. I know it's tough because part of me wants to make stuff functional. So like you want things to make sense and work, but then sometimes for costume, like it just can't because of the way the design. I mean, if you want to be, completely accurate, you can't make something a functional garment sometimes, or most of the time. And I also love how designs never have zippers. So it's like, well, zippers or seams, depending on what. Okay, cool. Yeah, the cloak's even on both sides. So I think it's possible to make it one piece. Especially, I mean, because the cloak, you're going to have a seam there anyway. So, however much fabric you want to wrap around, I guess it would also be a concern depending with the shoulders. Yeah, with how big those shoulder pads are. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things that I kind of feel like would be, like, my prediction is 2 pieces. They looked pretty weighty, so yeah, I would say a harness that that you're probably gonna have to if the cloak like covers your shoulders, you're probably gonna have to have like almost a slit into the cloak that you have the strap go through to attach to the shoulder pieces. Like those things are gonna fall back. Like those are probably gonna choke. Like I mean, it's gonna like fall back this way on you. So you're definitely gonna want to harness that like. Well, good. Like you're gonna want straps that come down and then probably wrap around and then go back up like that. Just a full like you said, a harness with probably a buckle that you can hide. And I would just have like a little slit that you can stick the straps through to hook on, or depending on how you want to do the hooking on to the yes, those rare earth ones, like they're fantastic. Let's see, do I have any? I have some not so great ones. Well, I know this is weird, but I do have some in these. These are my sleeves for my my ball gown, and for our performance, I actually did have to put magnets in them to attach them to the little. See, so it's like the poofy sleeve. Oh, there we go, poofy sleeve. There actually are magnets in these, which I should probably remove them, but they. I just sew a little. Let's see if I'll put it in this camera if you can see it. So I just sew a little pouch. So it's just a little fabric pouch that it goes into. And these things are so strong. Like I have them just attached to my garment rack over here, but they like, oh, one got turned around. But they like, so this is like, they are going through two to 4 layers of fabric, and they are like, really good. And this is just one set. So you can actually double them up and make them stronger. So right now I actually just I keep those magnets in there so I can just keep these shoulder poofs just attached to my garment rack. So yeah, no, they're great. And they're not that expensive either. I found, because you can buy like, oh man, I don't remember how much they are right now, but they're not too bad. I prefer them over Velcro most instances. Not that there's anything wrong with Velcro. Just I've had Velcro damage fabric. You know, like it'll just catch and start messing stuff up. So but yeah, they're like neodymium. I cannot say the word. But yeah, rare earth is wonderful. I'm gonna wait. Neodymium. Oh my god, why am I brain farting on that? Magnets. Let's see, rare earth magnets. It's gonna drive me crazy if I don't look it up right now. Okay, nothing's telling me how to pronounce the stupid word. I'm so visual, it's stupid. I have to read and see. Neodymium. I think that's how you say it. But yeah, it doesn't have to be like the rare earth brand. If it's just a neodymium, oh my god. I prefer the really small ones, the ones that are like about dime sized. I have some thicker ones. If you mess with them, be careful. They will slam together and shatter if you're not careful. So you have to like, and they can be hard to pull apart. So you just generally, I like try to put my finger between them. If I'm putting two together, I put my finger in and then kind of slide them off. So I have shattered quite a few. Okay. magnets are great for armor. Buckles. Buckles are also really helpful for the harnesses, and if you can embed D-rings into stuff. I don't know how you're making the armor, but just planning ahead, and yeah, I think starting with the shoulders, because that's gonna be like one of the main pieces of the costume. And I feel like that's like, if it's something that's pivotal to the silhouette, you want to kind of start with that and build everything else around it. Which is consequently why, yeah, it'll definitely dictate how you handle the cloak. That's why I'm starting with the undergarments for my dress. Because her silhouette, hang on. Let me get this stupid ruler out of my mouth. Hang on. Woo! Because how am I going to be able to tell how much fabric I need until I know exactly what I'm putting it on top of? But yeah, fabric and, armor's hard, man. Ugh. Okay, this is my other skirt. Okay, here we go. So, adding this to the pile. I need to start separating all these pieces by color. So many. Okay. Lavender's in a pile. Oh man, this stuff I got is a lot softer. Okay, so I'm actually working. This is all organza, by the way. I didn't even mention that. All my petticoat, I'm doing organza just because I'm. There it is. Okay. So right now for the base skirt, this is 8 yards going all the way around for this main part. And then the ruffles are, I got 3, so this is 12 yards. 12 yards of ruffle. And it pretty much, it goes from 12 to about 4 yards after the whole process. So right now I actually have 12 yards already on this thing. And I, not unsurprisingly, didn't have enough. So, yeah. Actually, I'm going to trade... Well, wait, is it time to serge? Yes, it is time to serge. So I'm going to trade out my sewing machine for my serger real quick. Don't worry, good old sewing machine will be coming back later. They'll come back later for the ruffling. When I ruffle, and then I'll use my gathering foot for the skirt part. But for now, we are going to serge all of these into one long strip. Actually, I can go ahead and move this a little closer, so you guys can hear me a little better. Actually, I'm not sure. Well, hopefully it's not too loud. Sergers can be a little noisy. Okay, I think I can kind of see what's going on. Hey, Super Daddy-O, how you doing? Oh, awesome. First large cosplay. Yeah, that's awesome. Good luck. I know you'll be fine. You'll be totally fine. My first large cosplay was my Godoka, and I just one day decided I'm gonna do something big, and then you just do it, and it's gonna be I think you're gonna have a good time, because that's how I was. I was like, oh, I wanna do something cool and big and yay, and you know I never made wings before that. I made those in like 2 nights. I don't recommend that. Well, what do you know? Okay. Let's make sure it's like, okay. So yeah, so all I'm doing is just grabbing 2 pieces and gonna sew them together. Okay. Yeah, because there should just, there should just be 3 total pieces. Okay. I'm pretty much anything with the organza I'm gonna run through this thing, because it's like this stuff frays like a crazy I don't know, something that frays a lot. Yeah. Something that is fray-tastic. And of course, okay. It just keeps going. It just keeps going. So let me know if I hit you guys with the fabric by accident. I feel like this is, wherever you guys are sitting, I could probably hit you guys with how much fabric I have in real life. Okay, where'd that seam go? Oh my god. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay, so this is the right side. Right side is where my thumb is. Okay. Okay, so now this is 12 yards. Okay, yeah, so you're asking about the color accuracy. Yeah, no, the difference between my cameras is a little annoying. So I would say, honestly, I feel like this camera is more accurate, because this one, this one makes things look a little bluer, and I haven't figured out why. So it's like this, it makes my, honestly, it's kind of in between the two, because this looks really, really like, yeah, I think this one is, well, let's see, what does my hair look like in this one? Kinda. Yeah, it's kind of tough to tell. I feel like, yeah, this one is making, so like, can you see these little, okay, so I'm gonna kind of point to it in the camera. Okay, so you see these things right here? These are supposed to be pink. Oh man, oh yeah, I mean, so this stuff's really light. I mean, you're not even gonna see any of this in the real dress anyway. So like this stuff, I'm not too concerned with. I just want it to be kind of the same color scheme, but I kind of feel like it's in between. And yeah, I kind of feel like I'm joining Team Rocket now. After pretty much Team Go has made me very sad, because, whoa, the camera just looked like it shifted tones for a second there. This other one. Because I live in a neighborhood that apparently has no Pokemon whatsoever in it. all the Pokemon is about 3 feet, the little 3 Pokemon feet away. So you can't even, like, I have to cross a really busy street to get to anything. So I've decided that I'm joining Team Rocket just so I can go, I'm just going to go steal everyone's Pokemon. Because that's the only way I'm going to get Pokemon. Work, the area near my work is a little better. I mean, it's a lot better. There's a lot of kids hanging out over there. Like, and kids, I mean, like, there's a lot of high school kids out there. So they keep putting, and they're on, you know, summer vacation, so they can just put lures all the time everywhere, and it's making the rest of us very, very happy. I'm trying to find, there's an end that's a little wider than the rest. There we go. Okay. So I want this to be the bottom. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where my bottom is. Okay, cool. So next step. So now that they're all together, I'm going to do the fishing line hem. Ugh. Ooh, I'm gonna need to redo this. This is sometimes when you serge it, it kind of like continues to fray a little bit. Okay. Nope, still fraying. Oh, and I was actually, I did go around work today and demand people give me their Pokemon. I did not get any Pokemon out of this. My plan, I think, was not very good. So, if you guys have any good Team Rocket plans, let me know. Okay. Yeah, there's one of my coworkers is like, oh, there's like a Pokestop like I can reach from my computer desk at home. And I'm like, can you stop now? Like, that's cool for you. But I'm over here out of Pokeballs. Okay. Oh, I left my fishing line on the other desk. I'm gonna go get it. Trying to think what's the best. Okay, this is fun. This is actually my first time. I have here. So this is gonna be partially organza there. Okay. So this is the first. This is the first project I've used a fishing line on. But so far I'm pretty happy with it, and it's not too hard to actually set up. You can do this. You can do this with a sewing machine. I just chose to do it with the serger because I'm doing organza, and this stuff like it frays a lot, and I felt more comfortable using a serger on it and overlocking it. So if you guys have never seen this before, I'll bring it into this camera. Actually, let me go ahead and... Okay. So I have the fishing line. And then what I'm going to do is I position it into the serger and I have it right on the edge. Let me make sure I can get that. Okay. So it's going to end up around the edge, and the serger is going to overlock over it. It's going to continue to go over it. And it'll just encompass it like in the thread, and it's so far it's like it's really cool. So I'm really liking it. Oh man, using a Wi-Fi only tablet for Pokemon Go, that does not sound very fun. I don't. Yeah. I don't know if there's a good place, kind of feel like, maybe if you go to like a mall or something that has like Wi-Fi throughout the whole thing. Okay, so how I get this started is I actually have to pull. They actually make a foot that you can actually like thread this through, but I just make it work. So I put the fabric down first, and then I slide the So I don't I actually want to try to see if I can get this. I'm gonna move the camera a little closer. Okay. So I don't know. I think the light's probably gonna like mess that up. So, well, I'll go ahead and just demonstrate this. I pull the fishing line pretty much all the way through. So it's all the way out here. And then I put the fabric underneath it, and then I go ahead and start, and I have to kind of keep pulling it, keeping it pretty taut. So I'm going to bring the camera back again. Just bring it again a little bit more. Why is it pointed so far down? Okay. Just that lag. Okay, cool. So by pulling it all the way through, as long as it's on the inside of the needle, then it goes through just fine. You don't need a special foot. You don't need a special foot at all for this. So I was very happy to discover that because, crap. Sorry, I just accidentally bumped the camera again. Okay, that's fine. I was very excited to find that because I was like, I do not want to have to buy a special foot for this if I don't have to. Cool, so my method works. I'm very pleased. I don't know if you can see. See if you can. So, I don't think it'll really show up too well, but the fishing line is completely in there. And then once I sew this continuously together, then it's not going anywhere. And it's so automatic that it's so nice. And all I do is I just keep the fishing line, I just keep it taut. Or I just keep pulling through the fit. Oh, and this is just regular fishing line. So we got this at like Walmart. So, just normal, honest to God, everyday fishing line. Oh, wow. So, yeah, anybody who can catch Pokemon, just Pokemon. Let me say it like a mom who doesn't know what Pokemon is. Yeah, anybody who can catch it from their living room, like, props to you. I am jealous. I'm very jealous. Because I feel like I'm one of those few people who I don't get anything in my house whatsoever. Yeah, the only thing I've caught from my living room was the starters that appear wherever you are. So, that's the only time. Let me see, what do I have nearby? That's the sad thing is, I'll see a ton of things nearby and I just get so sad because I'm like, oh, I would love to go get that. I would have to get in my car. I did catch a Ghastly today, though. So I was happy about that. I'll just let it load. Oh, that's always fun. Oof. Yeah, sometimes a scrap of fabric gets through and it kind of just mucks up everything. jeez. Scissors. Aw, I'm glad your son plays Mario Maker. That's a really... Seems like a really good game for a kid to play. I probably would have been obsessed with it as a kid. You know, it's Lego, it's like Mario but Legos. Hang on, I gotta... Ugh. Had a slight malfunction. Yes, this is a serger. I know you can't. It's kind of hard to see it. Let's see if I can turn my laptop a little bit, so you can kind of see it. It's actually you can see the thread cones here. It's actually pretty tiny. I just want to keep that there. I wish I could. So I wish I had more space. Like I kind of feel like I have not enough space, but so this is it is cutting and overlocking at the same time. It is wonderful. I absolutely love having a serger. And it goes so fast. Like it just like after using a serger and then you go back to like a sewing machine, you're like, whoa. Like, my sewing machine's so slow. Yeah, sometimes you have to be a little careful doing this. I have had it cut the fishing line a little bit. But I mean, it's not too big of a deal to like recover, but just gotta make sure you keep it, just keep it going straight, and it's totally fine. I'm pretty much all I'm doing is I'm grabbing the fishing line that's coming out. And I'm pulling it through, like, keeping it taut as it pulls. I'm not pulling it through. I'm letting the serger pull it through, but keeping the fishing line taut will keep the fabric taut as well. Just a little bit of pull, just to make sure that the fishing line is going through, because I want to make sure that it's not getting, like, bunched up along the way. Because I want to make sure I have enough fishing line going through the whole thing. So, see if we can blaze through this real quick. I'm actually not sure how long it takes to search through 12 yards. But we're gonna do it. And it's gonna be great. I'm just gonna put it in my lap. Man, you're gonna get tired of Rattatas and Pidgeys, I promise. There's going to be like a million. Okay, I have 2 Pokemon nearby, that's it. The Bellsprout and a Venonat. That's my life. That's my life out here. And that's the really sad thing is I'm not in the middle of nowhere. Yay, Super Mario Maker. It's so cute. Also, you know, I'm like, you know, obviously an adult. you know, an adult, and, and I'm like, yay, Pokemon. But I mean, who isn't, right? Honestly, I got made fun of more as a, I mean, how old was I when I started really getting into Pokemon? I think, so I'm gonna move the mic. Man, I think I was like 12, and I got made fun of for liking Pokemon. Now that I'm adult, nobody makes fun of me. Nobody has like, I'm sure there are plenty of people who will make fun of you for liking Pokemon now, but you know, I also work with a bunch of nerds, so that helps. Oh, well, that didn't work. Oh, I just gotta cut the thread and pull it back. Sergers can be a little finicky sometimes. Yeah, I didn't catch the fabric. Yeah, so usually what I have to do is I just kind of put it back a little bit further back from where I was, and then just kind of go over it. So, not a big deal. Okay. I'm just gonna fold this over. Yeah, sometimes I wonder what my parents think about, you know, they honestly, like, as far as, like, me liking Pokemon or whatever. I mean, they've always been really supportive, so, well, they weren't supportive for a little, like, for, you know, like, every parent gets, like, well, I mean, when I was into anime, like, first getting into it, my parents got worried, but then, you know, I think every parent kind of goes through that when their kid gets into something that they've never seen before. But now they get it. Trying to make sure it's not cutting the things I don't want it to cut. Yeah, this fishing line likes to get twisted weird sometimes. There we go. Got it. So you guys playing anything cool? Any games? I finally got into going through and playing through Bloodborne. Finally. And I was very, very happy. Enjoyed the hell out of it. It's like one of my favorite games now, so I'm just like, gotta have more. So now I'm playing through Dark Souls 3. When I'm not working on this, obviously, but I need to cut this. sound. Oh. Whatever that was scary. Hang on. Ooh. Well, it cut through the fishing line. That's okay. I can fix that, but... Yeah, like, being an adult now, like, it definitely helps not worrying about what people think. I know it's like, when you live with your parents, it's like, they, you know, they kind of have some say in what you do, you know, because they, you know, clothe you and stuff. But now it's like, well, I have a job, and I, you know... So now I can not worry about all the crazy, like, stupid plushies I have. Yeah, somehow this got unthreaded. So, this is always... The fall of the serger is when it, when you have to thread the dang thing, because holy crap. And then you have to test it to see if it got threaded correctly. And half the time, it's not. Nope, still not proper. It's kind of, can be pretty frustrating sometimes. Let's see. I think this one needs to go underneath this one. Oh no, I almost unthreaded. Oh crap. Well, that's okay. Okay. I just have to get the needle rethreaded. It just sucks because it's like dealing with 3 spools. So okay. Hopefully this did it. There we go. Okay, it's braided now. There we go, got it. Okay. I have no idea what caused that, but you never know. Pretty much you look at a serger the wrong way, and then it hates life, and then hates you. Okay. So now I have to get the fishing line fed back through. And I want it to overlap a bit. There we go. But I have a lot of fishing lines, so I'm not worried about, like, running out, really. Like 100 yards of this stuff. Is that 100 yards? 150 yards. That is many yards. Okay. So I think I got this started again. Cool. Oh, what is... Oh, it's my... That's my tape measure. I think it's just gonna be better to have it on the table. This is what happens when you make big dresses. You just have piles of fabric everywhere. And then eventually it gets sewn together and becomes a thing that's too large to fit in your room. What is going on? Oh, the cutter's having a sad time. There we go. Yeah, there's a decent amount of troubleshooting. Sometimes. Whoa. Oh, I just nearly sewed my hand. That was really close. I'm glad. I don't think it would have been possible to get my finger in there, but that kind of... My serger is like, hey, stop talking bad about me. No, you stop it. I think we're almost done. Whew. I'm really excited to show you guys the ruffler foot, though. That thing is fun. It's a little bit, it's quite a bit faster than this. Dwindling. I'm definitely looking forward to getting more towards like the actual garment construction, because it'll be a little bit less repetitive than a lot of this stuff, because that's unfortunately petticoats and hoops are repetitive, but because you're having to put a bunch of layers on something to get volume. Let's see. Sergers are really hard to they can be really hard to thread sometimes, especially if so right now I'm actually only using three threads, so that Helps a little bit. I'm just using the right needle because I'm doing a I guess it's a narrow hem. I think it's the settings for. Oh no, yeah, I'm just doing a narrow hem. I'm not even doing a rolled hem. But I think it's probably better that I am. I might try a rolled hem sometime. I'm not. Yeah. Yeah, sergers are. Woo! They're wonderful, but they are finicky and they hate life. But they grant us so much magic. Yeah, I realized I didn't even check the settings first before I started doing it. I probably should have been doing a rolled hem. I mean, I think it looks fine. I mean, it's a narrow enough hem, and it's a finished hem, so it's. I'm glad I'm not like, you know, hemming this by hand or something, or even with my machine, my sewing machine. I think. Almost done. Yay. Okay. Every time I think about going really fast, it's like the serger makes a machine and it's like, nope, don't do it. Yeah, see, it kind of like, you have to be kind of careful. It gets a little bunched up here sometimes. So, definitely when I get to the end, I'm going to leave a lot of fishing line at the end so I can make sure to like straighten it all through. So, gotta make sure you have enough. And it makes the table vibrate like a lot. So it's very much like it's actually like I'm resting against the table, so it's like it's making my side feel really weird. Yay, we're at the tail end. Okay, so we're at the end. I'm gonna make sure I pull this through. Hoping. Okay, good. I was afraid the cutter got a hold of it. Yeah, the Astrologiant. Yeah, so this skirt is already a giant, so I'm gonna start calling it the Astrologian or Astrologiant now. I think that's perfect. Okay. Lots of fabric. It keeps coming. Okay. So now I'm just gonna go through the end and I'm gonna make sure I slide the fabric all the way down because some of it's bunched up in some areas. So. This just takes a second, luckily. It's a lot faster than having to sew that fishing line in. Face this way. So, okay, let's just throw it over there. Okay, cool. So, next we get to do the funnest part. The most funnest is the ruffler foot, which I love. Oh, crap. I gotta go... Ugh. Yeah, some of the fabric didn't quite hit, so I actually need to feed it through the serger just a little bit more. A couple spots didn't quite hit. Organza is kind of a little jerk sometimes. Awesome. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for just sticking with it. It's. I was hoping. I mean, I know sewing can be, especially the part I'm on now, can be really repetitive, and so I'm. So yeah, I'm glad you're wanting to see how this goes. There's some other more fun. Like, I think more interesting stuff that'll come down really soon. Like, I'm really excited to make that hat. That hat I'm really excited about. And I think that'll be a really fun stream, because I think it'll, be something that'll be, like, really, really cool to like, live stream. So. Ugh, this stuff is being a butt. Because I'm having to slide it down the fishing line. Come on. There we go. There we go. Awesome, Daddy-O. You have a great night, and thanks for coming by. It was great chatting with you. Okay, I'm gonna make another pass on this, because, geez. Yeah, thank you guys for your patience. It is a time, that's for sure. I should probably run this through just a couple of parts. I'm not going to do the whole thing again, because that's ridiculous. I'm just going to catch a couple of spots that didn't quite, the fabric didn't catch. I didn't push the fabric, I didn't make my cutting width wide enough, I think. So, that's alright. I'm just gonna get the ones that are particularly bad. Okay. Because I really don't want, I don't want any fraying to happen on these. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that came off. Cool. Okay, I have this extra fishing line I can cut now. Oops, I just used my sewing scissors on that. Oops. That's okay. Oh, that's a really nasty one. I better get this one. I think this is probably the last one. And I can move on to the ruffler foot. There we go. Cool. Okay, I think that's probably good. Oh, watch, I'll find another really nasty one in a minute. Okay. Oh, nope. I think we got them all. So. Still trying to feed, like, prevent all the bunching going on. Cool. Okay, I think that's good. Now, okay, so now I'm going to pull out my sewing machine, and we're going to get to town on the ruffler foot, which is probably like the best foot ever. Okay, I'll set that fishing line right there. Okay, I should just be able to move this over. Make sure he's not too much in the way. Okay, I want to make sure you guys can see it, because it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun to watch, too, actually. Okay, I want to make sure you guys... Oh, it's going to be so bright. I hope it's not too bright. Okay. So yeah, this is the ruffler foot. It looks really nuts. Sure. So it actually, I'm trying to think of a way to, yeah, so it actually shoves the fabric in. So it actually will ruffle it for me. So I don't have to hand gather anything. Don't have to measure out a ton of I don't have to measure out a ton. It just attach it to your machine and it does its thing. It's wonderful. And soon we will have an amazing ruffle. Make sure to get it on right, because if you don't have it on right, it'll break your needle. Okay. And it also helps to have a threaded needle. Of course, it's a little more, whoa, not what I wanted to happen. It's a little harder to thread the needle with the ruffler foot on. I have to do it with my left hand. I am not left-handed. There we go. Okay, so it's threaded. I'm gonna move the mic a little closer. Okay, now is the quest to find the end of the fabric. There it is. Okay. So yeah, Mike will probably peek in a little bit, but I'm gonna bring it a little closer. So you guys can hear me a little better. Okay, so right now you can see that we just have a straight strip of fabric, have the fishing line in the hem. So now, actually I'll probably just throw this over my shoulder. Now we're just going to ruffle this jerk, and we're going to go through it. And it's going to be a ruffle real fast. Let's make sure my plate pressure is way too high. Okay. And my stitch length is at max right now. Because my ruffler is set to ruffle at each stitch, so it does it's still a pretty tight stitch. Okay. I mean, it's a really tight ruffle. I don't know how easy it is to see that, but let me get a little bit more, then you guys can see it a little better. so fast. I love it. So now we have a little ruffle. Well, it's a big ruffle, and it has the hem in it. And yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and ruffle this whole thing. So this will be 12 yards, and it'll go down to about 4. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Crisis averted. Okay. So much fabric. There we go. Okay. There we go. Try not to let it get away from me. It's trying. So now you can't even really see it. There's this massive pile of ruffle happening now. It's kind of hard to keep up with it sometimes. Get the rest out in the front. I know I keep looking over and it's like, nope. I'm gonna send it out to the right. Away from me a little bit again. That's okay, I got it. Cool, there you have it. It is now, see how well you can see it? It is now a, oh. So now it's still really long. It's very long, but it is now a ruffle. So, yep. There we go. You can kind of see it. Yeah. So that's it's about 4 yards now, I think. And now it's ready to be attached to the bottom of this monster here. Which already has the first half on it. God, this thing's already big. Oh yeah, I'll go ahead and so now I can go ahead and take the petticoat off because I need to attach. I haven't actually the ruffle on the bottom of this that's there currently is it's actually only pinned because I only, because I was pinning it in and seeing how much I had left. So I'll go ahead and take this off so you guys can see the hoop. Excellent. So, yep. I know it's hard to see. I want to see if I can get an angle for the future, so where you can see the full bottom of it. You can kind of see it in the top camera, but I do have. Oh, I can lift it up. So I ended up with 10 hoops. I think is it 10? 3, 6, 9? Yep, 10. And then I have my my fabric panel on the bottom. To help, so when I walk in it, I won't accidentally step through the hoop, so I can kick through it. So yeah, I still have a little bit of hand stitching. Let me sit. So I still have a little bit of hand stitching left to do on the. I'll move that a little bit. There are a couple of spots that I stitched with my machine that didn't quite catch, so I will be, oh, Nicole Darksweet, hi, how you doing? Sorry, it's a little far, I'm like, can I read that? There we go. Okay, eyes, focus. Yeah, how you doing? I hope the day has treated you well. Just talking about, just accidentally stabbing myself with a pen. A straight pen, not a writing pen. The sharp ones. So yeah, just talking about, what I've done on the hoop so far. The only thing I have left to really do on it is I have to, I'm probably going to once I finalize finalize the size, which I won't do till the petticoat's done, is I will be, you can't see it from here, but I have a lot of extra hoop steel sticking out the back that I'm not going to get rid of until I'm doubly sure that the size is what I want, because I'm so paranoid about cutting the hoop steel, because I actually, even though I said I was going to have extra, I ended up having a lot less left than I thought I would. I think it's only like this much. What can I get both hands in the... There we go. I only have about that much left after... I can't remember if I ordered 10 yards or 20 yards. I think it was 20, yeah. So I used like almost all 20 yards of that hoop steel. So, yeah. So right now, I guess, so the cool thing, I'm very proud that the petty is already, there's already a zipper in it. So let me back this up a little bit. You can see more of my table. Yeah, there's already a zipper. It's already a wearable garment. If you can see it, yeah. So I'm happy that I went ahead and did that. So it zips up. We're all good. It does need a hook and eye. It needs a hook and eye on the top. But so yeah, we're on this massive monster. Woo! So now I'm just going to just dye in a pile of ruffles. Now I'm going to, actually, I guess I should go ahead and serge these two pieces together. That's probably the thing I should do as soon as I find the end of this thing. Oh, there's an end. I found it. Okay, so goodbye for now, Mr. Machine. Mr. Sewing Machine is gonna take a nap down over here for a sec. Ugh. Okay. I know I have all these spools of thread here, and it's like, I don't need you right now. Out of my way. Sorry for the clanging. Okay. Okay, Serger's back. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna at least Serge the... Oh, well, that end I found now, I just lost it again. Oh, dear. Oh, bother. There it is. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and just Serge these two together. Ugh. So then it'll just be a continuous piece, and then I can, then I can just finally attach it to the first layer of the petticoat. Then I only have to do it 2 more times. And then the petticoat's done, which is awesome. I'm very happy. I'm happy that it'll be done very shortly. Okay. So which side is the right side of this thing? Okay, here's the right side. Okay, right side to right side. I have to remind myself that all the time. In my head, mostly. Okay, I'm gonna double check this, though. I get super paranoid about this. Especially when it's so much fabric and... Okay, because this is the right side of this. Okay, so make sure this is the right side. As soon as I find that seam, I will know. Oh my gosh. Right side, where are you? Okay, yeah. Okay, that should be it. That should be correct. I'm just gonna double check. No, see, this is the right side. Right side. Yeah, I'm getting it backwards. Oh my god. Yeah, I think I need to grab the other end, actually. I think that's why I'm getting confused. It's also late. Ugh. And it's all twisted, so that always confuses it, too. Okay. Okay, this is the right side. So, this right here facing me is the right side. Okay. This is the right side of this. There we go, I got it. It was a struggle, but I got it. Okay, now I'm gonna send this through the machine before I lose it again.